Well, why? It seems like it's does it.
Okay, folks. This is a regular meeting of Timberon Board of Directors, the Timberon Water and Sanitation District. Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, 4 p.m. Timberon Community Center Lodge, 1 Bob White Circle, Timberon, New Mexico, 88350. Would y'all please stand for pledge of allegiance?
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of the earth, on the United Okay, and we have members present: Terry Borzoni, Mark Harlan, Ed Hardesty, Alan Burmeister. Okay, I need a motion to approve our agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we approve the agenda. Can we move item number 8 to number 1?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a second to approve the agenda with the one amendment to move item number 8 up to item number 1? That would be discuss the validity of 4/9/24 vote to appoint Alan Burmeister to the TWSD board. Do I have a second?
What number from 8? I'm sorry, from 8 to
1. Do I have a second on that? Okay, y'all don't want to do it? That's okay. Or discuss it at the end of it. Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I still make a motion that we approve the agenda and remove item number 8 to number 1 due to the relevancy of it. It should be done before there's any votes.
Is there any particular reason why I can't get the other board directors to approve the agenda? I'd like to elaborate on that. Okay. We can do that then. Thanks, Bob. Thank y'all for showing up. I can't get a second on the motion to approve the agenda. I can't get a motion to approve the agenda the way it is.
do it like it is.
I
Do it
can't.
like it is.
I cannot. We cannot continue the meeting without the agenda being approved.
Who's supposed to approve it?
We have to have a motion to approve the agenda, which we did, and then we need a second to approve that motion.
Let's not approve the agenda then and move down.
Why?
I cannot get a motion.
Come on, guys. Why?
Either way.
Spanky's right. He has to have the motion. What the hell's wrong with the motion to approve the agenda the way it is?
Because there are votes on the agenda on top of that item, and due to the importance of the issue, it is not fair to the residents or the board that we continue until number 8 is straightened out. If we vote on it, if Mr. Burmeister votes on it, guess what? Do over.
How about an open night mic for the town?
I
can
would
do that.
love that.
Well, then let's have it. We're all here.
Well, if we cancel the meeting.
But I have,
Then cancel
have
the
to do
meeting
certain
and then
things
start
first.
talking.
So
I want to know why the board members can't come together and approve the damn agenda. I don't care if number 8 should be first or if it's last. I'm going to be here for the duration. But the 4 of you sitting up there need to get your heads together and get them out of your backsides and do your job.
Thank you.
And Rick, I totally agree with you, and you know that I cannot second that.
Yes, sir. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, sir. You're absolutely right. That's the way it has to be. So somebody, the motion has already been placed on the board to move 8 to number 1 and then approve the agenda. What's wrong with that? Come on, guys. You're better than that.
That this board has, well, did y'all not show us to the last scheduled meeting?
Special meeting,
No.
that's correct.
Okay, and now you're wanting to cancel it again? What do you have to hide?
I don't have anything to hide.
We can't.
Why can't you get a second?
Who are the powers that be then?
Yeah.
Who are the powers that be?
I need a motion. I mean,
No,
I need,
who is in
You
charge
have
of
the
this?
motion.
I am.
Okay, then you tell us what we're all supposed to do
But
and who we're supposed to
I
talk to, when we can talk to them, and have a meeting with all of us right now. Get the stupid meeting.
Working on it. I'm working on it, okay? So, would y'all like to make a motion?
Terry's already made the motion.
I mean, a second to the motion.
Why can't you get a second?
I can't say anything at this point, no.
Why?
You can second the
Because
motion.
my validity is in question.
You can second the motion in your
Not if
possession.
I'm
Right
not
now, you can second the motion.
Spanky, you can make a second.
I'm not sure if I can.
Yes, sir, you can. No, Terry made the motion.
To move.
Board
director. I got
So we have to wait.
You can, sir, second.
You can second Terry's motion.
You're on the board, you can second it. Board directors cannot. Are you guys gonna go behind our back and do it while?
No, ma'am.
Hell no. That's why I want this meeting to proceed.
Who wrote this out, you know?
We all do, we all participated.
You all participated in it? Okay, so if you all participated in this, and but then you knew that you couldn't get a second, right?
Well, not all of us. Not all of us work on it. We don't. Each board director or community member can request an agenda item. You can't. We don't discuss it in between meetings. That would be a violation.
But they do see it in advance of the public at the draft.
Okay, so you guys see this in advance,
Yeah.
knowing that you couldn't continue. Is that correct?
I understand this young man not speaking up right now because his validity is in question, but wait, we've got 1, 2, 3 other people. Nan's not a board member.
No.
So the only real board members are the 4 of you?
That's
That's
true.
it?
Yeah, we're short of
So
board
one
director.
person
So
stepped
why
up?
isn't Mr. Hardesty approving it?
Okay, so, and you have a problem with moving number 8 to number 1? Why? Why do you have a problem? Because you seem to be the holdout. If he can't say yes to second the motion, and you don't want to because you're the one that's being questioned, why can't you second it? Just moving the agenda 8 to 1? Why can't you speak up? I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but yeah. Just moving it over to
Pardon?
you. Do you
Yes, sir.
see?
You're not chairman.
Now I'm starting to understand why
Vice
the
chairman
community
and
has such a
co-chairman
problem with the
don't have
board.
chair.
Holy cow! I've been here 10 years and y'all.
You just
Yeah.
keep talking.
Excuse me, she had it first.
Chairman, co-chairman, acting chairman.
I don't care.
You can second the motion.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not sure.
Yes, sir, you can. I am.
All right, there's no need for
Yeah.
that.
He's not
Quit
the
being
official
ugly.
chairman. He's never been appointed or voted in. He's the vice chair.
Clark, can I second it? In your opinion, you can second. Okay, then, I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Don't have a vote from that yet. Well, the ayes have it.
That's- Yep.
If you abstain, then I said.
Okay. Our agenda is approved with modification of item number 8 being moved to item number 1. So, that being said, we'll go on to our manager's report and then we'll get on to our treasury report and new business open. So, Renee, manager's report.
I think it's in those papers they passed down. Alright, so we have, as of July, the Timberon Water and Sanitation District produced 5,502,777 gallons. Sold 2,918,114 gallons. We lost 2,584,663 gallons. This brings us up to 47% water loss from the 45% loss we had last month.
Give her right back.
Our 12 months running average is down from 71% to 69%.
He had an extra one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
71% down to 69.
Oh, 69, and you said 69 lost, right? Okay,
It's going down.
Okay, I didn't hear you, so,
that's okay.
Next month, we'll go back.
Little at a time.
okay, so I've gotten the CCR report submitted to Tim Wiley on that. It was all sent out to you guys, the annual water quality report. We've had some communication issues over at the water plant, which actually got resolved today. The training for the grant application will start on August 15th in a couple of days, so I'll be attending that. And I am working with the authorities, to be specific, New Mexico environment, because we've had a breach in our security. So that is a continuing, ongoing investigation.
Is that at the treatment plant?
No, that was here on the computers. We've been hacked.
You do realize that?
They're working with CISA.
Is this hack affecting water safety, water quality?
We don't believe so. We want to put a stop to it before it does happen. Because if they can hack into the computer here, it is the main source for the SCADA system.
The main source for what?
To access the SCADA system, which is our programming device in our water plant.
This,
And that's why they're taking it so seriously.
this system has, effect on the water quality then? Which is to say.
You hear all across the United States hackers are changing things in water plants. It is possible, yes.
It is possible that the water quality has been affected or?
No, it has not been affected. It's possible that it can be affected. That's why we're continuing to work with them.
Let's also do daily test on water. So,
Yes.
at the plant, so. You know, if there was something changed, basically the only thing that could really change would be chlorine levels.
Yep, exactly. So the only thing they can change is turning on and off the filters. Stuff like that. Yes.
Could that have something to do with why there's rumors that are outrageous water gallons usage? Because there's a number of people that are complaining about that, including this lady right here. She wasn't even at her.
I can explain that, some of these water meters that we are currently using, if we get a lot of breaks at once, we develop error in the system. And it's very hard to bleed it out, especially on 6-inch lines such as Hoover. So that could pertain to the amount of water usage.
Okay, so if they're like a fuel system that somebody could
Just bring it into the office.
Well, I have a question. I want to know what the issue
The issue with payroll was the power was out, so we couldn't get it addressed, so we had to do print a check.
Okay, and what we do that? They got the checks out.
Yep.
How come I'm hearing that some employees get their check till Friday?
Friday morning,
The-
yeah.
I can
That's
tell
not
you,
Thursday.
the pool people did not come and pick up their checks till at least Friday.
Well, I know.
Everyone else got their check
one of
on
the
Thursday.
members that I talked to didn't get paid till Friday.
They-
Didn't receive a check till Friday.
It was in the office on Thursday. They were all in the office on Thursday.
Okay, any other questions for General Manager? No. Okay,
I don't know if this is included, I'm sorry, but.
Okay.
Could you speak to about the roads?
the General Manager.
I don't know if I'm
Just call and put in a work order.
I did, but I just want to make sure I follow up with it.
Okay, and what road is this?
Pleasant Valley, it's the main one that goes up to the bar.
Okay. So, the water leaks get addressed first, and then the roads. I've had Travis out on the road twice last week, so it's getting.
Should I like do it like 6 times, 4 months, or, you know, before
I can't tell you how many water leaks we're gonna have a day. So that all depends on the water. I only have a certain amount of people.
Sure.
So I'd like to keep at least 2 people on site on days, for safety reasons. We have 5 people, so I'll check in for that, you can give me a call.
I had a question. Just to clarify the problem with the checks with the power outage and availability of funds.
That is correct. Ruby called me late Thursday night or Wednesday night, and I was out of town, so I didn't get that message till Thursday.
The communication problem with the main tank on Pawnee has been resolved.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions for General Manager? Okay, moving on. Mr. Hardesty, you have a treasury report for us?
Okay, as of today, the account balances are standby fund, it's $8,712.92. The F and S is at $15,739.42. The emergency fund remains the same at $86,048.30. The general operating fund is at $29,573. The 3 USDA accounts are the same, $166,012.26. And then the other account was $7,924.08. And then the third account is at $793.68. And the deposits for the pool, separate from everything else, was $1,605 even since our last meeting.
Can you repeat the USDA account figure, please?
$166,012.26. I may have made a mistake on that one. It should be $166,949.30.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the
I have
treasurer? Hang on a minute.
Okay. I said the last couple of 3 meetings that the QuickBooks are a disaster. Described it as a dumpster fire, I think, last time. It's worse than that. I have not been able to get into QuickBooks until last week. And I was on the phone with Ruby with Granite Mountain County, and we walked through it, and we had, I don't know how many names of people that were still authorized to go into QuickBooks and do whatever. So Ruby and I went through and took out every name except for hers and mine. And that was the big problem with past people getting into QuickBooks. It's kind of like with our banking, all the names in it, people that weren't here anymore. But I asked Ruby when I first took over as treasurer about QuickBooks, and they said that they were trying to reconcile the books to reconcile those with our bank accounts. And they were having a hard time doing it. They were plugging along, and since that time, it's gotten worse. When I first got into QuickBooks, it said that we were $62,000 in the red, which isn't true because I'm looking at the bank statements daily, and I know how much money is in there. What I don't know is what checks have cleared or not. So I was keeping track, like I said, with the daily balances, and I knew payroll was coming up, and according to Ruby, it's good to keep about $20,000 in there right before payday just to make sure that we can make payday, because they never know exactly how much it's going to be with overtime and whatnot. So at the time, our balances were showing really low, and I went ahead and transferred $25,000 from F&S into the general operating fund, just to make sure that we could make payroll, because we also had to pay out a lot of money last Thursday. For some reason, our insurance wasn't brought to the forefront, and suddenly we got a email from the insurance agent. We had to make an immediate payment of almost $7,000 to keep our insurance from being expired or being pulled. And they also said that we need the money now, because don't write a check, because we have to have it in our hands like in a few minutes. So we did a bank transfer from them, or from us, from the general operating fund to them. The next day we had to transfer another $2,000 and some because of the math there on their part, not mine. We also had to pay Ray Reynolds, who didn't get paid in June or July. He was on the phone, and we had to pay him almost $8,000. But there were a lot of invoices that had to be paid. So that's why I transferred that money from F&S into that, because I had to write all these checks that day. It had to be done. And we go back and put that money back in there as soon as our accounts are built back up. And we also are still in the process of figuring out percentages of what should have been paid by F&S and what should have been paid from some other fund. But we'll get that money back in there. didn't disappear, but everybody got their paychecks on Thursday that came in and got them. So I wanted to talk about one other thing. We found out, well, I was asked about the safety equipment allowance that our guys are supposed to get every year. I didn't know anything about it, but I went through the collective bargaining agreement and saw that they are, part of the agreement is they are to receive $150 a year on July 15th of every year for safety equipment allowance. And I noticed that contract was selling 5 years ago, expired 2 years ago, but the
I asked him to give them $300 to include their muffins as well.
we adjusted for inflation. We adjusted for, I did a cursory survey of what those things cost. You know, one of the things they need a couple pair of their boots every year. You know, I know the boots I wear around just to work on the property cost $120, and I go through a couple of pair of years, so I can imagine that $300 didn't go very far for them. You know, plus they have the other equipment that they need to purchase also. So
I believe TWSD purchases safety equipment also. It's not solely on the employee's shoulders. It's not.
okay. So we made the decision to go ahead and pay $300 for safety equipment. The safety and welfare of our workers, I think, is paramount, and I don't want those guys to do without. So I think $300 is cheap for that. So okay, I think that's it. Unless there's questions.
That safety allowance that's in their contract is a set amount. It's $150 a year. I acknowledge that their contract expired 2 years ago. That's irrelevant. As long as they have a contract, it's in effect till there's a new contract.
Okay.
That's negotiated.
I have the floor. I still have the floor.
I'm commenting on yours.
Okay, finish your comment because I still have the floor.
Okay, but I'm just saying that $150 allowance goes to the employees every year, irregardless of what muck boots you're purchasing for. Those muck boots or gloves or rain gear or whatever is purchased throughout the year whenever one of the guys needs a new pair of boots because they step on a rock and it pokes a hole in it or whatever. If they need new gloves, they get new gloves. If they need winter gloves, they get winter gloves. But that allowance is $150 a year, not $300 a year.
Okay, well, I didn't say the contract was irrelevant. I was going by the contract. I know we still have to honor the contract. I'm not begrudging them that. I'm just saying that $150 adjusted for inflation and what the real cost of things are, we thought $300 was better. And so I made the decision, and that's what we did.
And the union was okay with you going in and changing the contract?
I didn't change the contract.
We give them the 150 and I added the 150 on top.
Okay, so you went in and changed the contract.
Okay, I'll tell you what, you got an option going forward here. You can go back and doctor that $150 if you're so worried about it, but I think the union's gonna make you famous if you do that.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey
and
Jerry, how much is your boot?
that there would be discussion though if we followed the
120
rules.
pairs
And that
minimum.
should have been a negotiating decision. I do not believe you were on the union negotiating. I'm just curious how
I don't think you are either.
I just explained it.
I have 3 items, sir. I do not oppose the $300 extra $150. However, under safety, you can push the point and get away with it, but it needs to be brought before the board, and the board needs to approve that. Okay, so that needs to be on the next agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, end of that one. It's over. I don't care about a contract. That's something the union and TWSD is going to have to get together sooner or later. Item number 2 that I have has the money in our accounts, both general fund and water fund, been separated in the budget? Yes or no?
What was the question again?
There should be two money funds in our budget. One bank account, two money funds. One is water, the other one's general fund. Has that been accomplished?
Yes.
It has. Thank you. Third question. Has the check signature stuff been resolved?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm done.
Right now, the people that are authorized on the checking account is Ed, Renee, and myself. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my question is, like, the FNS funds, you were dipping a lot into that to make sure that payroll was gonna be met. And I kind of understand that, but I don't know if, to me, I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not. If you're supposed to mix funds. If it's FNS, it's supposed to go directly to FNS. If it's payroll,
it's actually supposed to be a board decision to transfer FNS funds into our operating account.
Okay, and who all made that decision?
That was a board decision made back on May 6 months ago, I think, or so. That it actually, before that transfer happens, it has to be approved by the board.
But he just made, I'm sorry,
Correct.
I'm not trying to be nasty or anything, but he just made all these payments and things, but it was out of which fund? Out of the FNS fund, is that right, sir?
I did. I transferred money out of FNS to the general operating so that we could pay all these bills that were due.
Are we not collecting enough out of that one end to leave FNS alone? Is that what the problem is?
We haven't transferred FNS funds since May 29th.
Oh, well, he's just mentioning all this stuff that he had to switch over to meet payroll, so that, to me, that meant it was recent.
Right, that's correct, but we haven't transferred the funds from FNS like we're supposed to every single month, because I missed it on the agenda. So we haven't transferred those funds into the account it should have been in since May 29th of 2020.
Okay, so, but I guess my other question is, do we make enough money to leave FNS alone? Because FNS is for obviously the roads, the community type deal and everything. But it seems to me if we dip into that to make payroll or whatever the other side of it is, we're always going to be short. So we have to address our shortage, I think.
And that's correct. However, we did just get our rate increase, and that will make a difference. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will make a difference.
Okay.
And that's the purpose of it, so that our income on the water covers our outgo on the water. And it should be like that. If we bring in $1 million from the residents, we should spend $1 million. And that's how we're trying to do it, so that our water is completely covered.
And when do you forecast that money being put back for the FMS?
You know, I was unaware the money was transferred, and I thought that was something that we had to have the board approval on when we transferred money. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but that maybe Ed can tell us.
Okay.
Point of order on that. I will do my research, but I believe that past boards, back whenever, have already authorized the treasurer, whoever, to make those fund transfers without board approval.
But about 6 months ago, the board changed that to where they had to have a board decision.
Well, that's stupid, because now you got Ed sitting here in a pickle because he made a decision to make sure payroll's covered.
But he was also involved in the resolution having the board members.
I understand that.
So he should have been aware of that before he made it.
I understand that, but he has to make sure funds are available, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that resolution is stupid.
thought it was at the time, so.
Well, end of discussion on that. You're welcome.
Tony,
So just to give some context, I had a lot. So that resolution that you're talking about was brought up by former board member Paul Hageman, and I had long discussions with him about that. And the intent of that resolution, whether it was written correctly or not, it can be debated, was to be transparent to the community about what was happening with FNS funds instead of just willy-nilly moving FNS funds and the community didn't know what was going on. I think from an intent standpoint, Ed did the right thing. Not only did he have to do it, he right off the bat announced it and explained his deal. So whatever you guys need to do to straighten that up, I think you need to do that. And if that resolution needs to be changed to be more useful to you, then
We'll
it
put
should.
it back to the other one that was very useful to the people.
As long as the money's just not getting spent and none of us know what's going on, I will agree with that.
Well, I know, but see, okay, we did this little transparency thing, and I'll be danged. We weren't transparent about it. The treasurer could have sent out an email or something saying, hey, guys, Houston, we have a problem. This is what we need to do.
Why don't you just report the transfer at each board meeting? That's all it is. And that's all the original resolution did.
We are working, I know, the original, and that was fine, but then they changed it, and we just are not that transparent with the things, and I don't like that.
I agree. Moving on.
Thank you.
okay. Any other questions for the treasurer? And do you have anything else? Okay. Moving on to new business. Discuss the validity of the 4/9/2024 vote to appoint Alan Burmeister to the TWSD Board of Directors. Okay, I went back, somebody brought this to my attention, and they brought to my attention that on April 9th, when Mr. Burmeister, when the board took a vote between Chance Guile and Alan Burmeister to be appointed to the board, they pointed out that in the minutes for that meeting, the actual vote wasn't recorded in the minutes. So they suggested that I go back to the recording for that vote at that meeting, which I did. And that recording is on our website. If you go to calendar and look up April 9th, 2024 meeting, y'all can hear that entire meeting on that recording. But just so that since we're here at this meeting and this agenda item came up, this item came up, and the question on the validity of the vote, I'm going to go ahead and replay that video that recording for everybody here. And just so you know, everybody knows what this agenda item is about.
Open seat to replace former TWSD Board Director Paul Hageman. And if we could, I would like to have 60 seconds of silence for Paul. valuable asset to the community and a dedicated member to the board. Greatly miss him. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes, good. Our station is all. I have not got a flyer out of Absolutely. That's April 20th at 10 a.m. Memorial service for Paul. Okay. We have two candidates that are up for position of board director. We have Chance Giles and Al Burmeister. Chance, would you like to stand up and give some information on your background? Well, I'm Chance Giles. I'm from here. I don't really have a lot of experience with water.
Can y'all hear this?
Yeah.
There we go.
On my line.